contemporary art. They relocated over here to the waterfront just a few years ago, and since then they've become the second most visited museum in all of New England. A wonderful museum. The sailboat you see is the Roseway. That's an mid-1800s Gloucester schooner. There were hundreds of those sailed up and down the New England coast, used primarily for fishing, and generally they were out to catch codfish. The building with all the flags on it is the World Trade Center, located on Commonwealth Pier. There are some offices over there, but the main portion of the building is used as an exhibition area for trade shows and other events such as the Boston Home Show or Flower Show. And the new convention center is directly behind it. 10 years ago, you would not have seen a single building over here more than 5 stories high on the South Boston waterfront. So all these tall buildings are new. Most of them off our right side now are hotels built to accommodate guests to the convention center. This next pier, the American flag flying above the building on it, is Boston's Fish Pier. This is the oldest working fish pier in America. At one time there were many more fishing vessels that called Boston their home port. But in recent years, most of the fleet has moved either south to New Bedford or north of Salem to Gloucester. The area set back to the left of Fish Pier is Liberty Wharf, and those new buildings on the waterfront were just completed and their new restaurants. Looking behind us, you get a great view of Boston skyline. Back on our right, the white canvas structure is the Bank of America Pavilion, where they hold outdoor concerts in the summer and early fall. White building with all the windows on our right. At one time, that was the largest building in America in terms of square footage. It's the former Army Navy Annex building. And it's through that building that hundreds and thousands of military personnel were deployed during World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. The other side of that large building is Black Falcon Cruise Ship Terminal. In just a moment you'll be able to see a couple of cruise ships are in. Many of the cruise lines bring their ships up to New England during the fall foliage season. So we're seeing many more vessels coming in. And they work their way up from New York, generally all the way up to Halifax, Canada. You can see the top of one of them now, the smokestacks. One of the busiest airports in America, where an airplane takes off and lands about every 2.5 minutes. And back on our right is the Boston's Cargo Container Terminal. You can see a large ship there with all the containers stacked up on the deck. They unload them with those huge cranes, and then eventually the goods are placed on flatbed trucks for distribution throughout the region.
Castle Island.
Now on our right side, you can see Castle Island and Fort Independence.
Told you.
At one time, this was an island until the 1930s, when they decided to bring in landfill and connect it to the rest of Boston. There's been been a defensive fortress on this site since 1634, so about 140 years before the American Revolution. The English used it as a fortress to defend themselves against French attack as well as Indians. And then, of course, the colonists had a fortress there to defend Boston Harbor from attack by the British during the Revolutionary War. Castle Island is the delineation point between Boston's inner harbor and the outer harbor. So we're now in the outer harbor, and the body of water on our right is Dorchester Bay. One of the great things about Boston's outer harbor are the harbor islands. There are 34 islands out here, and 33 of them are open to the public. The only one that's privately owned is the one on our right side down a little ways with all the trees. That is Thompson Island. But the family that owns it does generously allow the Boston school system to use it as a base of operation for marine and environmental studies with the kids. And also, you may have heard of the Outward Bound program. They allow Outward Bound to operate a sailing program out of Thompson Island. There aren't many places in our country where you can be so close to a downtown major urban area, and yet the public has complete access to 33 islands. Boston's Best Cruises that operates the Salem ferry also operates the Harbor Island Shuttle, leaving from the same dock we just left from. Now this next island on our right is Spectacle Island. So named because if you were to fly over it and look down on it, it would look like the shape of a pair of glasses. And has an interesting history. At one time there were hotels, casinos, and brothels on the island.
Brothels.
And then when the Boston Police Department shut down the brothels, it led to the demise of the hotels and casinos. Then eventually the buildings burned. This next island on our right with the red and white checkered tower is Long Island, so named because at about 2 miles long, it is the longest of the harbor islands.
What island did we go to?
And the buildings you see over there, at one
George's.
time that was a tuberculosis hospital when TB was a health risk in America. And then when they no longer needed it for that purpose, it became what was known then as an insane asylum or mental health hospital. It's the inspiration for the movie Shutter Island. Out last year. Part of that movie, in fact, was filmed on one of the harbor islands called Heddick's Island. The old hospital is currently used in the wintertime by the city of Boston when and if all the homeless shelters are full. They put folks out here, they bring them out by bus and put them out safe and sound out here on the island. Now back on our left side, you see this large facility over here. This is the Deer Island Sewage Treatment Plant. Now most of us don't get very excited about sewage treatment plants, but before this facility was built, Boston Harbor was one of the dirtiest, most polluted urban harbors anywhere in America. But thanks in large part to this facility, which serves 28 communities in the greater Boston area, we're glad to say that Boston Harbor is now one of the cleanest urban harbors in America. You can swim, you can fish, you'll see lobstermen taking lobsters out of here, and of course boating and sailing is wonderful in this area. Recapturing the methane gas produced in the filtration process, as well as some hydropower, they're able to generate about 40% of all the electricity they need to run that entire facility. So it's a great example of green technology being used in a plant originally designed to clean up the harbor. So it's a win-win situation. Now back on our right